Oh, well, now you've had an injury blow heading into the final week. Can you just tell us about that?
Yeah. Unfortunately, when Alyssa went down in the box last week, it's turned out her ankle's a little bit worse than we first thought. So unfortunately, she is going to be out for the rest of the season, which I know is only actually 8 days. So, but unfortunate for her, not the ending of the season she wanted, but she's in pretty good spirits and will continue to support the girls.
Yeah, so who's coming in? You've signed a replacement?
Yes, we have signed Emma Main as a replacement, so really excited for Ems. A product of the academy, Wellingtonian, has trained with us all season, and it was it's a pretty easy kind of replacement for us, attacking player. She knows how we play, she knows what we want to do, and she's pretty excited, and she's trained incredibly well this week. So for her to be given that chance is great. Yeah,
there's a full firm squad to be announced next week as well. I don't know whether you've heard who's in it, anyone you're unhappy hasn't got a look in, or anyone you're stoked about might be getting a look in, considering this might be probably the last chance for World Cup sort of thing?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with who we've got in. I think that Yetka's been brave with her selection, and the people that have kind of deserved a look in are getting that shot, and there's a couple that are probably just narrowly missing out, but I think that they'll still get opportunities to be seen throughout kind of the rest of the year, even though this is really the last international games, that there'll be other things that they can be seen. So we're pretty happy with where we're at and who Yetka's picked.
Okay, Newcastle Jets have leaked 47 goals. If you get another 24 shots, you'll be hoping, or at least one of them will have to go in the back of the net if you need to get that win. So how have you been sort of addressing the being more composed in the final third this week?
Yeah, we've just trained it. We've trained a lot on how we can score. We know that whilst they've conceded a lot of goals, they've also scored goals. Just look at their game against Adelaide, where they scored 2 quite similar goals in transition. So we know that they have their threats. They're pretty Alan's having a great season, so they're pretty quick and they're pretty direct with that play. They know what they're doing. So we'll try and nullify that, and we've been working on our composure under pressure in the box. So if we do get to a point where we're getting a lot of shots on goal, we have to start taking them, and that's kind of been the message, in that belief. We know we can score goals. We scored 5 against Canberra. We scored 3, 4, controversially, against Brisbane. We know we can score goals. So it's just bringing that belief and actually not letting the occasion take away from what we're trying to do, and just settle into the game and take our chances.
Will you stay in Australia ahead of the Adelaide game?
Yes, yeah. So we leave tomorrow, and then we'll come back the day after Adelaide, which is, I think, Wednesday. Thank you, Wednesday. So a couple of days before the victory game.
How much do these last few results, I guess, depend on how you'll reflect on the season as a whole, do you think?
I think they'll have a big impact for sure. I think you end well. That's the best memory the lasting memory that you kind of go away from the end of the season. That was similar last year. We ended the season pretty strong and more competitive, and this season we've been more competitive throughout. So if we can turn the performances into results in our last 3 games, we kind of been, drawing against Brisbane, beating Sydney, narrowly losing to Perth last week. If we can do that but better, get more results, keep dominating games, turn those performances into goals and points, then we can probably look back on the season pretty fondly.
How pleasing is it being able to pull someone out of the academy for the last few games as you've done, and was it tough choosing who that person was?
Yeah, it's really great, and I think it shows we've got a really good system here. We have a really good now women's pathway into the ALeague women's team, and Emma has been somebody that has trained with us all season. So again, it shows that pathway. She wanted to stay in Wellington. She trained with the boys. She's done those years of really working hard physically and technically as a striker, and she'd been with us the whole season and just worked away, and to be able to kind of reward her for that as well as show that the pathway's true and it's there, I think is like gutting for Alyssa. Like I feel a lot for Alyssa, but really stoked for Emma.
What are Lily's spirits going to be at the end of the season if she can't get on the field at all through the whole season?
Lily's Lily. I think it's often, even if she's away, you see on social media that she's probably shouting at her TV screen, which she is, and you hear her at Sky Stadium shouting over everyone. And yeah, she is very team first orientated. She is gutted. This season hasn't been the season that she wanted, but she's been an amazing teammate and role model and club captain for the rest of the girls. So yeah, she'll keep being Lily.
Obviously, the draw card for a lot of the sort of more experienced or overseas-based players that joined this season was the Home World Cup. Do you think that will be gone by the time the next season rolls around? Will it be harder to recruit some of those top New Zealand players to come down under this season?
I don't think so, not necessarily. I think that you know, hopefully the Ferns that have been here have enjoyed it. We've spoken to them already about like next steps and whether they'd be keen to come back, kind of whatever happens next season. So they seem to have really enjoyed it, and they'll end up talking to, you know, other Ferns and this an Olympics next year. I think being home for them, like a lot of them have never played in New Zealand for the professional club. They've spent years and years away, so the opportunity to be closer to home, I know, is a big draw card too. So I don't think it will affect things too much, touch wood.